It's Laufenberg.
Laufenberg. Okay, and
Laufenberg.
they didn't hear a word I said because I had myself muted. So, uh, welcome everybody. We have Jason Laufenberg from Awake Souls.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I saw your you had something on let's see on Facebook. Let me look here. There we go. Saying come to look at your AE map, or not your AE map, your non AE map model, and to have a look at it. So I said, well, let's have a look. So, um, but let's see. Before we get going, let's just say a couple things here. Um, Thanks to everybody for supporting. I got some good patrons. Thank you, people. If you like this, do a like and subscribe, and click the bell and whatever else. So, with that, let's get going. Uh, Jason, would you like to give a little introduction or something?
Yeah, yeah. So just a little backstory for anybody that tunes in to what's going on here. Um, there's a conversation that's been going on about the shape of this reality, and on Facebook, there's a group that you seem to be active in. Is that the official? What's the name of that group?
I'm in a couple. Let's see.
The one that
Yeah,
we've
like
had our back and forth
the
on.
official flat Earth and round Earth discussion, something like that. There it is.
Yeah. So you challenged me, right? And I found this extremely interesting because I've been out here for years, putting out this challenge to everyone in the entire world to to debate the map, the model, to debate whether or not Earth is a spinning ball, if it's flat, if it's concave. That challenge has been out there, and I haven't heard nobody has wanted to talk about this ever since Ronnie Harris of the Limitless channel and myself just sort of pummeled Sean Hufford and Red's Rhetoric in a debate on the Non Sequitur show because they didn't have a single response to 10 globe debunks that was an actual debate where there was, a moderator, we had time frames, there was a format to it. So like what we're doing tonight, I know you have debate in the title. Yes, we're debating a topic, but it's not a true debate because it's not, moderated under certain guidelines and rules and stuff like that. So this is just going to be more of a free for all. But I think we understand that we can have a civil discussion about opposing viewpoints without lighting it up too hard. But at the same time, I'd let you know through our Facebook conversation, through this, invitation of yours to come have this conversation, that I'm frustrated. I've hit a high level of frustration. I feel like the concepts that we're going to talk about tonight are understandable by like a 5-year-old. That it's not like these super deep topics, that they're rather simple and elementary, yet there's a whole bunch of deception. Now, you've mentioned family friendly, that you have kids, that they might be watching, that you have, a friend that might be watching. I'm going to do my best to reel it in, but I'm also going to take the time to point out the obvious flaws that I see with you, right? Your channel, your content, the reason why you're here. And so the first thing I want to ask is, how long have you been shilling for the globe Earth? Like when did your career start, and what are your credentials?
So by shilling, what do you mean exactly by shilling?
Well, you know what shilling is. It's you're promoting a viewpoint, a product, a vantage. You're astroturfing. Uh, Oftentimes people expect that a shill has to be paid, and in your case, you've made it clear that you've already done your shout out to your patrons. But a person wouldn't have to be paid. Like in the case of a secret society, let's say, a Freemason, a Jesuit, a Knights Templar, a Rosicrucian, somebody like that, they could have sworn a blood oath to Satan to uphold a certain viewpoint, withhold certain truths, and do this under the threat of death. And they wouldn't literally have to be paid to do so, right?
Sure.
All right.
Well,
So
so how long have I
again,
been? So
yeah,
I have not
oh,
gotten paid by anybody, other than
your Patreons, right?
patrons and some ads on YouTube, which isn't
Right.
doesn't
So
amount to much. So
I know, but you're monetized. How long have you been a monetized channel with the sole purpose of fighting against flat Earth?
well, that's not my sole purpose, but I think it was late March when I hit the necessary number of hours of view time.
In order to get paid for what you do, and
Sure.
that is you argue for a spinning globe Earth, correct?
I argue for what I believe is the truth. So,
Okay. But my
yeah.
question to you is why would somebody need to pay to have reasons given to them why they're on a spinning globe Earth, and when the entire indoctrination system, like from the moment we go into public school and all the way through, that's what we're being given. Why does a channel need to exist? Is like that you would pay extra? What is it that you're providing to your Patreons? What are your credentials to prove that the world's a spinning ball?
Um, I do it for fun. That's a lot of it. It's a bit of a hobby.
Sure.
It's challenging and to do some science that I hadn't done for quite a few years and put together things like that. It's kind of fun. So that's the main reason.
Okay,
If I make more, then super. I can stop doing some of the other things I do to make money.
all right. So I had put out as a clause in order to sort of weed out having to talk to uneducated people. In my challenges, I've always asked for somebody to have like a master's degree. Do you do you have a master's
No,
or
I studied electrical engineering and computer science in school. So, um, if by the same token, do you have a master's degree?
well, I'm proud that I don't. That's the
Okay,
indoctrination that
okay.
I'm fighting against.
So I don't think we need to have double standards here. We can be consistent in things, right?
Well, the entire whole science and academia thing, it really does revolve around credentials and um, the groups that a person's associated with, that type of thing. So I see in the back of your wall there, it says Earth-shaped field agent, while you have like a Masonic pillar with a globe on it. I've got to ask up front, are you a Freemason, a
I
Jesuit, a
I
Rosicrucian?
No, not at all. The let's see, where is it? Right there. That guy is a joke that some of us did back in January through April, where I don't know if you must not have seen it, but we wrote up a fake document because everybody was accusing people of buying subs and being paid by the government. So we had some fun. So that's what that is. And then that pillar actually is just it was a thing that I made for my wife to put candles on at the table, and then I issued a challenge to because I won Flat Out Heroes $100,000 challenge, so I gave him a counter challenge for 10,000 of my winnings to use use one of three different sets of maps to create put together of the United States and have it be flat, and versus have it not lay flat. If it didn't lay flat, then he didn't win. If it did lay flat, then he'd win. But or anybody who wanted to take the challenge. Nobody's taken me up on it yet. But so you'd get that pillar, and then on top of it would go that globe that you see there. Hold on. And oh my goodness, my kids took my frisbees. I have a frisbee that would go on top of it, and the winner would get that the new trophy with the frisbee on it. And I'd put whatever flat map you'd want in there. I'd tape it in. So just
All
for
right.
fun.
Well, maps going to be an interesting topic tonight. Um, I see you've got maps up in the wall. You brought up maps. Um, Let me ask you, what map of the globe is the most accurate?
Oh well, I like Google Maps. That's pretty nice. Um, that works
No,
well.
a paper one. The
Um, what paper map do I like?
Yeah.
Oh, I the 7.5 minute USGS maps are nice.
All right. Do you understand that they scale things to infinity at the poles, correct?
Uh, those those are only of the U.S. But the similar maps do not scale things to infinity at the poles. They're not a Mercator style.
All right. You wanna show that? I'm curious what map it is that you use of the globe.
So I don't the 7.5 USGS are only of the U.S. Right?
Well, I'm talking about the globe, right?
Yeah.
The whole world.
Let me see here. I have. Oh no, I don't need to look online. I do have some on my computer here from when I
Yeah.
was doing that challenge. So you can see over my shoulder there. That challenge was the from Flat Out Heroes challenge that I won.
Yeah.
I made a
But
triangle.
that's not the whole globe that you're showing there,
No,
though,
of
right?
course not. It's just flight charts.
Hmm.
So got to go in the right folder here.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we've got plenty of time. Are you on a time restraint?
No, no. Where? They were my first videos, and I collected an awful lot of data for them. So I like it's too big to sync all the time. So, but my computer here can do them. So let me see.
So what do you do for a living while you're working on pulling that up?
I write anti-spam software.
Okay.
So I have the entire collection of all of the ONC charts.
I'm just looking for one
Yeah.
map where you can see the entire Earth.
Oh, that's not possible because the entire Earth is a sphere. So there is no one
No,
map that is of the entire Earth.
there is. That's
Yeah, not an accurate one, of course, because the Earth starts with a sphere, and
well,
then
I guess we can save some time. Have you ever heard of a stereographic map? And do you understand how like with the intuition of a child, if you were trying to make a flat map of a sphere, right, it would be stereographic, right? That's obvious.
maybe you need to explain that a little better.
Do you know what stereographic means?
Go ahead for the audience too.
Well, stereo, two, it's got two polar points,
Yes.
two polar points. And that's what Earth has. There's two polar points. So any map that's representing Earth, it's going to have two polar points. So I've asked you, what map do you use of Earth? And I don't know, you're rather new. I don't know how long you've been around. Have you ever heard of Charles of Flat Earth Math?
Flat Earth math. Yeah, I've
Math,
interacted.
yeah.
Yeah, I've interacted with him a few times.
Okay, so he's been on our Hangouts, Ronnie Harris of the Limitless channel and myself, and we've gotten him into a conversation like this. And when it comes to the map, he 100% admitted that the map that we're using is the most accurate flat map of this world possible. he said he believes that he's on a spinning globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to represent it on a flat map, the stereographic map that we're using is considered to be the best by the smartest cartographers in the world. It's been around for a long time too. It's been around since 1894.
Okay.
So I catch all this flack from heliocentrists, but it's obvious to anybody that's got a working intellect that the map that we're presenting is the most correct representation of Earth, because it's either curved, all right? We're either on a curved ball spinning, or it's flat. It's pretty obvious that it's not concave. If if Earth is flat, which we've all argumentation, all experimentation has proven that it is, then it's the correct map. So
Well, I'd be asking then to see your evidence for that.
sure,
Yeah.
let me do a screen share.
All right. You're on. Just you.
All right, I gotta get my camera out of the way.
That's
All
me.
right, so I'm just gonna go. That's you. I gotta switch to here.
There you go.
All right, so this is World Maps Online, and it says about this stunningly detailed satellite image map of the world, detailed land cover data depicted in the oblique Mercator projection. The parameters of this map projection have been carefully chosen so that the inevitable distortion that occurs is relegated to the oceans and to the least populated, the least recognizable landmasses. The result is a unique, visually interesting flat map of the world that exhibits nearly no distortion in the most familiar areas, even at the poles. This version of the map has been done in a stylish portrait orientation, perfectly suited to hang as an elegant piece of art in your home, office, or gallery. So, this is the map that we've been sharing with people. Now, what we've done is taken it out of its stylistic, artistic expression, and we've lined it up with the borders being the timeline, the international date line, and then the center line being the prime meridian. All right, so this is a stereographic map. You can, I'll show you a couple images here. All right, this is what we started with right here. This is the first thing that we found. It's the oblique Mercator projection, cylindrical conformal CS Pierce, 1894. And you can see Africa looks a bit distorted in this, right? It's a little bulged out on the bottom, but this was done in 1894. Wouldn't you agree that even in 1894, compared to like the most modern, technologically accurate maps, that this was pretty close. It wasn't that far off. So then if we go back to the more, that's not the one, the more modern version here, you can see that all the land masses are as we expect to see on a globe, except that there is an inflation up here in the Alaska and Irkutsk area of Russia, in that area where they've sort of reined back in Africa. The bulge is up here near the top. Now, the interesting thing about this map is it actually has two polar rotations, a north polar rotation and a south polar rotation, but it's split at the international date line, where you would go from one side to the other. Now, how much do you know about me as far as do you understand that it's myself and Ronnie Harris that we're the ones that have smashed all the fake flat earthers, the ones that promote the Freemasonic New World Order AE map and model?
Yeah, I know that that you went after them.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and literally took some of their top brass out. Pat Steer. I can personally lay claim to having rid the movement of
Oh,
that
well,
character.
Antonio Subras will be upset to know that he's not the one that did it.
Yeah, it wasn't Antonio. Yeah, I even got put into their mockumentary. Do you know that?
Which one?
The Behind the Curve. They actually I got into that mockumentary. So it's interesting. Um, what I noticed about you is that your your entire I looked at your Facebook here and I looked at the friends that you have, and your entire crew is the people that I've been smashing. You're friends with more of the fake flat earthers. You have one of the largest. You're friends with Bob Nodell. You're friends
I
with
uh, I mostly accept any friend request sent, and I will send a friend request to anybody that looks like a flat earther, or anybody that I
yeah, but
recognize as a non-flat earther. So
but
that
here's
Facebook page is just for my YouTube channel.
oh, just for your
Yeah,
YouTube channel?
it's not my real one.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, it's you're solely dedicated to shilling for the heliocentric model. But this is the interesting thing. You're friends with all these fake flat earthers, right?
I don't
And
care.
the Steve McRae's and like the people that we've called out as the Satanists.
Yeah. So all right,
You've
can you get
you've
back to like presenting evidence that your map is accurate though, instead of trying to just question my Facebook page? That
well,
I don't
no,
really
this
care all that much, but it's I think people are going to get a little bored.
I'm not going to get bored. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. It's so weird to me that somebody wanted to actually stand up and have a debate about this, and then I looked at who you are, and I find that the most interesting part of this is the network of people that you work around. Because the point that I'm trying to make is that there's all these shills and networks of satanic clowns, and that you seem to be at what might be the top of one of these satanic,
I'm at the top, man.
like, yeah,
Yes.
look at the people that you keep company with.
I don't keep
This
company with those people. I do it
who is it?
so that I can find somebody to debate every Tuesday, because it's a rare breed to find a flat earther that's willing to stand up for their faith in the flat earth. So that's what I'm doing it
but
for.
but these are all the fake ones. You're in
That's your
with
opinion. I think all of you are fake. So I don't care. How do you tell the
all
fake
right.
from the not fake? All flat earthers are fake. They're all making a claim about something that's not true. So
Oh,
you're
we
all
can
the same to me.
we can take it down to whether or not we're on a spinning ball, or whether or not we're on a fixed and immovable earth. And it boils down to two basic points that are the ones that were covered in Behind the Curve, right? We either
Yeah.
have curvature, there's no curvature, and we're either spinning or not spinning. Those are the two main things. So the proof of burden is on the person that supposes something. So if you are supposing the earth is rotating, the thing that you have to give is proof of that rotation. Now
So
we know
now, are
that
you supposing the Earth is stationary?
fixed and immovable,
Yeah. All right. So the
and
burden of proof
that it's
is on you as well, right? Both of us have a claim.
yeah. So one is it's the sky that's moving. The other is that it's the earth that's moving.
Yes.
And your proof that it's the earth moving.
My
Where is it?
claim is that the Earth is moving. Absolutely.
And where is your evidence for that? Because I've been at this a long
Yeah.
time, and
So
I
you
know
brought up behind the curve, and
I
I don't usually bring it up, but in there they did talk about that.
yeah, because the cited reference from all globe author, globe earthers is that Bob Nodell is the proof of rotation, right?
No,
So
he's now, the reason why I don't bring it up is because he's not. He's not the proof of rotation. He just did what every airplane pilot does every time they turn on their plane. Right? The optical gyroscope measures the rotation of the Earth so they can correctly get the latitude of the plane.
all right. So have you ever watched this where Ronnie Harris and myself smashed Sean Hufford and Red's Rhetoric in a debate on the non sequitur show?
Oh, I certainly did. Yeah, that
Oh, you
was not
did?
it wasn't a smashing, but on your part, but it was
It
a good one.
was.
I watched that. Yeah.
So the 8 inches per mile squared, the curvature.
I reject that math.
Well, what's your formula?
I'll pull it up for you. 8 inches per mile squared isn't necessarily too bad. It's how it's applied. So I will pull up the correct one because that doesn't tell you anything about what should be hidden or obscured. That
But
tells
you do understand that 8 inches per mile squared falls way short of what's necessary. It's a super under calculation, correct?
I completely disagree.
It's a super under calculation. Have you ever taken 3,959, multiplied it,
All right. So here
you know,
is
squared?
the correct way to calculate what should be hidden. And I'll put this in the chat for everybody there. This is one. There's a couple other. They use the same formula. This one has a nice graphic, so it's visually easy to see. And the predicted amount hidden is the bulge in the middle, the line GP.
There never would be a bulge ever, you understand, correct?
If the Earth is a sphere and you have two objects, the observer and the thing that you're observing, there is a bulge between them.
Yeah, that's only from a side-on orthographic view.
Yes, of course. But
That's
and when you're
it's
looking
it's
straight towards
it's
it,
a
there
it's
will be
imaginary,
something obscuring you as well, obscuring your vision.
but it's imaginary. Wherever your horizon's cut off, right? That would just be where it's cut off. There's no bulge. You're never gonna. There's no side-on orthographic view ever. It's completely imaginary, hypothetical,
Yeah. So, but
non-reality.
this is how we can calculate how much should be obscured.
Yeah, if we were on a curve. So my big question to you is since you're saying that this is the formula that's taking place everywhere on Earth, where can I go out with a theodolite and measure this? All right. So I grew up a cement mason. I know how to work a transit, theodolite. I can put a 1/4 inch pitch on anything. I can do a slab that's a mile long, 10 miles long, 10,000 miles long.
Yeah.
I know how to read level.
So well, yeah.
So
So as you go up in elevation, right? What do you think happens?
you can see farther to the distance,
Yeah,
to
but
the horizon.
what does the horizon do as you go up in elevation?
It descends.
The horizon goes down as you rise, or does it stay at eye level?
No, it descends. I've already explained all this. Have you ever watched my videos?
No.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I've already explained how that works. It descends.
Okay. Well, I haven't watched your videos, so you'll have to.
Yeah, it's you want to do the screen share with me, or I'm still screen sharing. Let me I'll just this is the #1 video on my channel right now.
Is it
The
a
Mall Angel.
short
It
enough?
no, it's a long video.
Okay, you can
but
jump ahead though.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this, do you understand that I teach that we're in um, a simulation, a
Yeah,
realm?
and yeah, unless you have evidence, then don't bother bringing it up.
That's all I put out as evidence.
Okay.
Yeah. And so one of the correlations to the way the horizon descends as the observer raises in elevation is explained here perfectly. Um, this might just play for a couple minutes, but we got time, right?
Well, don't go too long. So I'm not hearing anything if there's something to hear.
Yeah, it's the music's playing. That's why I asked whether or not the sound was going to share.
Whatever you send me is gonna get played.
Mm. All right, so I'm playing it from the.
So the Limitless channel number 8 is saying, "Weak, no sound, what a joke." So Limitless channel 8, it's not me. It's just what's coming from Jason.
Is it playing now?
I
Were
no,
you
I
hearing
don't
it?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, come on. This is. That's why I wanted to have this conversation on my channel because
Well,
we've got
send
all these
send
technical issues worked out.
send the audio. It's on your side. I'm not getting any audio, so I can't control
Okay.
anything.
Let's see here. Send the audio.
We have
There, I heard
Um,
it that time for a second.
yeah, that's just playing through my speakers, but you'll hear it this way.
6 of them in a 3D environment. Front, back, left, right, top, and bottom. Let's start with the front. You see our scene, but there is no depth of field. Everything has been stretched like you were looking at a flat elevation blueprint of the scene.
So do you understand what an orthographic view is?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a big point of the video because that's what a lot of people that are trying to psyop others will go to is a side-on orthographic view, which is it's an imaginary one. It's not real. Let me skip ahead here a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's for illustration and for understanding.
Yeah,
But it has uses. You can measure angles from it if it's to scale.
sure. Yeah, you can.
Before we get into our perspective view, I want to show you something from the side orthographic view. I want to get you familiar with the camera. The camera sees the view that will be rendered with perspective included. Just like a real camera or our eyes would see it.
All right. So in just a second here, you're going to start seeing
We can set the camera
the reason
to any
why the
position
horizon
within
drops.
3D space and adjust its angle a full 360 degrees on all 3 axes. But the super important thing to note is that the camera has a limited distance that it can see, just like our eyes.
I'll need a citation on that.
Well, what is the farthest that you would cite that we've been able to see here on Earth? And I'm going to recommend that you don't use anything that Jay Tolan's been promoting because he's just doing CGI.
I don't. The farthest that we can see, I would say the stars.
The stars. All right. So, what about a land-based object, be it a mountain, a building, anything on land? What is the world record that you think that you
I
can
don't know.
see here on Earth?
I don't know. Get to your point. I don't. You don't need
Well,
to
I haven't found a
drag it
real
on. So
example that exceeds 50 miles.
okay.
All right, so we have a limited distance that we can see. That's an obvious citation. It's just obvious. And if we have a limited distance that we can see, I'm showing you here exactly what happens when you raise the eye level of the observer. You'll see in just a second.
Your video is very very dark. It doesn't come through super well.
You can clearly see
Just
that
wait.
as I move the camera further away, the scene is disappearing in layers. Only a certain distance from the camera is going to be rendered, and this has to do with resolution and the conservation of processing power. For this demonstration, I'm working in 1080. Once I have pulled the camera back to a point where the rendered object is smaller than 1 pixel, the computer has no reason to calculate the object because it is no longer renderable. If I was working in 4K, I could draw the camera back 4 times further. The problem lies in that computers can process nothing that is infinite. The moment you ask any computer to process any irrational number like pi or the Fibonacci sequence, or render a line or a plane to infinity, will be the last time you get to use that computer. A new record was set for calculating pi this
All
spring.
right, so I'm going to jump ahead to
This
here.
one is going to be able to render it
All right,
due to
look
its
at the-
resolution.
Look at the
There are
grid
some
work.
people who know that they are in a simulation that argue that any sort of infinite damnation is impossible because no known technology or concept could ever complete such a task. But to those people, I'd like to point out the obvious answer: looping. This 1-minute clip keeps going round and round forever with no strain on memory and storage. So now let's look at this scene in the perspective view.
All right, here it comes. Watch your horizon drop.
The perspective view is much more processor intensive because every surface is being redrawn to represent its correct orientation in 3D space from the observer's position. It is not the camera view though. It is a preview of what the camera view would be like, but without the field of view of the camera framing the shot. From the perspective view, it is easy to see the depth and orientation of all the objects in the shot. Here comes the entire reason for bringing you into Motion 5 and getting you familiar with the various orthographic views.
All right.
You will soon see the explanation for why the horizon drops on a flat plane.
You ready?
As I elevate my observation height while in perspective view, you will see the horizon remains fixed, or what one may consider to be eye height, your eyes on. This is true in both directions of either raising the observer's height above the plane or lowering it below the plane. But if we go far enough, you will begin to see that the computer is cheating incredibly. It's attempting to simulate an infinite plane. You can clearly see that it is not truly rendering all of these lines to infinity, because if it was, the horizon would be a razor flat line. The X and Y axis have been drawn to the horizon line, and a loose mesh has been laid on top of these axes to represent an infinite plane. Keep in mind that if any one of these lines were to be actually drawn to infinity, the moment you initiated that process, the computer would dedicate all of its processing power and storage until that process was stopped. Nothing can be rendered to infinity. This is where the mental construct of the horizon always remaining at eye level is flawed. We conceptualize an infinite plane where in reality,
is this
no
targeted
such thing.
at flat earthers?
No, it's just truth. Just truth.
But is this your attempt to debunk flat earthers saying that the horizon always rises to eye level?
Because they're wrong.
But I don't care about them. I'm not a flat earther. You don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to bring up some flat Earth debunk to try to debunk the other flat earthers. I don't give a damn. They can go away.
Yeah, but that's
You're not making a point that I care about.
yeah, but would you say that it's a ship going over the curve, or would you say that it's the distance that we can see to the horizon makes things appear like the horizon drops and stuff like that? See, this whole video,
Not at all. You've made claims and you've done some animations in a computer, but where's the actual physical evidence, the physical laws, the things that we can see other than an ad hoc explaining something that it is inconvenient for you? You know, where's the evidence for those things?
no, where's the evidence that a ship that's 3 miles away is already lost what we see disappearing with the actual camera, with the footage? Where's your evidence?
The evidence that what?
See,
that the bottom of it is obscured as predicted on a globe. We see it all the time.
but it's not. Ships begin disappearing, like large chunks of them, massively, at 3 miles. The footage is all in this video here.
The bottom up, yeah, they're obscured bottom up as predicted on the globe. So I don't know what you're getting at here. So if something is happening as predicted on the globe, what's your argument?
My argument is it happens on a flat floor within the length of a mall. The exact same thing, right? That's the whole purpose of the video. This model walks down a flat floor.
All right, and
that
so
is,
and how did you qualify the flatness of that floor?
you can go qualify it yourself, but you would have to
so
prove.
You didn't.
You would actually have to get the blueprints for the construction of this mall to show me that it was built to a curve, because I'm a builder.
The blueprints
and we don't build buildings. We don't build buildings curved.
Yeah, but there's tolerances, right? So
yeah, and how much tolerance do you think that you would need to make this model feet disappear? It doesn't happen at the end of the mall. It begins happening halfway down.
Okay.
Right? You want to watch the walk?
I don't need to watch.
Nice
You need to first establish the flatness of the wall quantitatively, which you've not done. So until you've done that, then there's no point.
To what tolerance would you need? Would you need
I don't know. I mean, we could do the math, but I'm not going to do it right now, right? But
yeah, but what tolerance would you need?
I just said I'm not going to do the math right now.
So if the floor varied by, let's say, 1/4 of an inch over the length of 1,000 feet, do you think that would create the effect that we're seeing here?
I don't know. I didn't do the math, and I'm not going to do it right now. But you haven't qualified that the floor is flat, so there's no evidence to show.
Well, it's simple enough. You can go into any large. You go into like a Home Depot or some big concrete floor building, a huge Walmart, and you can do the exact same thing. You just set your camera down on the floor and you watch somebody start walking away.
You would need to first establish that the floor is flat.
Sure. To what tolerance?
Until you get that, you have to do all the math on that, right? So I'm
no,
and
but
you didn't do
if you're
any
gonna
measurement, right? You did zero measurement to qualify the flatness of the floor.
I don't need to, because this is the baseboard on both sides. The camera was sitting on the floor and I could see the baseboard on both sides. If there was a hump in the middle of this floor, I wouldn't see the baseboard on the far end.
On the right side of that picture, where's the baseboard?
It's in between these lines right here.
Yeah.
That is the baseboard. You can actually watch the glimmer of it. It's pretty. Watch. That's the baseboard back there. So I'm at one end of the mall and I can see the baseboard at the other. Do you think there's a hump in the middle that's blocking it?
So
see, that's a carpeted floor. It's not even like tile.
So
you see these reflections?
Yeah, so we still see her feet.
Yeah, she's still walking away. And they keep disappearing more and more and more until she gets to the far end. the bag keeps sinking into the floor farther and farther. That's the baseboard back there.
So nothing is being
So
obstructed. We can see the baseboard. I don't understand what you're getting at here. If we can see the baseboard,
yeah,
then nothing was obstructed.
yeah, she's sinking into the floor from the bottom up, exactly the way we
Yeah, but
see
we can
a
still
boat
see
going
the
off at the horizon.
we can still see the baseboard.
Yeah, now if this mall was a little bit longer, it would be pixelated out and we wouldn't see it anymore, correct?
Pixelated out.
Do you know what pixelation is?
Of course I do.
Okay.
It would get blurry though, not pixelated.
Well, yeah, it would blur, and if you would continue to magnify and try to see it, it would be pixelated. At some point, things just disappear because they're too far away to see. That was one of the points that I was making. We were talking about the distance that you can see to the horizon.
So the stars we can see, and they're farther than the horizon. So
Well, the moon's a great point. The moon is a fantastic point. You would agree that we can see great detail in the moon, right? Have you ever used a P900 or a P1000
yeah,
to
so-
gaze upon it?
I'm still actually waiting for evidence that your map is accurate, which was kind of the point of your challenge.
No, I was just coming on here to out you as a heliocentric shill. But the
Okay.
map,
I don't care. So yeah, there's your map.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
so,
what do
so how
what do you-
how is that accurate? What is it about that makes it accurate? Is that usable for navigation?
Sure.
So
Okay, draw a straight line from any point on here to any point becomes if you were to wrap this map onto a sphere in a 3D program like Blender. So the straight line that you draw on this map becomes a great circle route once it's been wrapped to a 3D model. Do you know what a great circle route is?
you're looking at them over my shoulder.
All right. So straight lines are dead reckoning on this map. And
So
you see these curves?
I
You see,
tested that and doesn't really work.
have you seen this map wrapped onto a 3D sphere? The yellow and red lines, the tropics and the equator, when this map gets wrapped on, these become like the lines that go around a croquet ball. They actually straighten out. Become
Yeah, so it makes sense.
equatorial, right?
It makes sense that when you take a projection and then you unproject it back onto the sphere, it turns out to be accurate on the sphere. That's not a surprise.
So-
That's pretty predicted.
Yeah, so then you understand that this is the most accurate map of the world, correct?
No,
Which one would you use that would be more accurate than this?
I'd use a globe, like a model based on the globe, like the WGS84 model.
Okay, so if you were navigating, let's say you were a world traveler, you would take a globe with you and you would hold the globe and you would rotate the globe. Like what orientation would you set
This
as you're
isn't-
holding your globe to navigate?
this
This
isn't
this is an
kindergarten.
actual map.
This isn't kindergarten, right? There's no one single map of the world that doesn't have massive distortions, right? We know.
No,
that.
we
That's
just
the
we just
point.
read that. This is it. We're looking at it.
This is the claim was it was the least distorted of the flat maps, not a undistorted map.
Well, that's because the people that wrote that say that we're on a globe. So if there is no curvature, then this is the correct map.
But there is curvature. We've measured it.
Where? I'll go double check it.
Okay.
I've already driven out to Lake Pontchartrain because of Soundly.
Yeah.
I went out there and I double checked it. He's just a lying fraud. Right? There's no place that heliocentric glober shill can point to that we can go measure this curvature because it doesn't exist.
Sure, you can. You take a theodolite, like you know how to use.
Yeah.
Go to a hill over the water, and look out over the water and measure the drop.
No, I'm talking real, like, I'm a construction guy. Like, if I was to build a wall or pour a concrete slab that there was absolutely zero pitch on, like if I were to do that along a seashore, it's not going to all of a sudden start extending out into outer space. It will continue flat all the way along the shore. There's no curvature and there's no rotation.
Well, there is curvature, and you can measure it with the theodolite by measuring the drop from level.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I certainly do.
No, you don't. What are your credentials? What have you built? Like,
I don't need credentials to look at a measurement. So here is a theodolite view. I'll give the link here, and I'll share my screen back to you so you can see.
no, I just explained to you that the horizon drops.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we went through that video.
Yep. So that's your claim, but you've just made claims.
No, it's
you haven't
true.
actually...
No, I've the footage from the drone, all these different things.
It drops.
It's absolutely true that
but
it
your
drops.
explanation for why it drops is just ad hoc. You didn't actually have any physical laws that describe what's going on.
Nor do you.
Yeah, we do. It's
Where's you're showing me a picture here. I'm talking about like real evidence where we go out to the shoreline, we start setting marks. They're not going to start dropping off. It doesn't happen. You're just showing a crosshair. This is I could have made this image in
so
20 seconds.
Go get a theodolite. Right? You said you had them or you've used them, and level it and look out over the water, and if it doesn't reach eye level, then measure how far down it is. Right? And then you can use Al-Birundi's calculation to calculate the curvature of the Earth.
No, that's not the way to do it. You go out there, you go along a seashore, and you set a mark, you set a pin, and that's your 0 point, and then you just keep going 0 point, 0 point, 0 point down along your shore, and you'll realize that you're always following the shoreline. There's no curvature, and everything's remained level.
So, what are your credentials on that? Because this is from an actual geodetic surveyor.
Yeah, I would love to have some show like this show up and humiliate them in a live stream and publicly shame them for the lies. I would like to do it on site.
But what lie is this? This is the horizon not rising to eye level. The horizon being at a predicted drop according to the radius of the Earth.
No, that means nothing right there. You can go to the shoreline and
incredulity is all you have, though. You're saying, "Oh no, I don't like it, therefore I'm going to dismiss it." But you don't have any reason to dismiss it. The horizon must not rise to eye level. It must always dip with elevation. It should increase with elevation. It has to. And it does, and it matches predictions.
No.
No.
In the 500 years that the Jesuits have been promoting this heliocentric lie, and this is all that you have to prove that we're on a spinning ball. It's really, really bad. It's horrible. In fact, it's grossed me out. That's the reason why I don't really like talking about the shape of the floor of the Earth anymore.
You're just incredulity is all you have, right? I don't believe it. I don't like it. Somebody else is lying. But you don't have actual evidence to suggest that there's anything else. You're just rejecting it because you don't like it. So
no,
here's the drop here.
Your argument goes directly against yourself. You don't have the evidence that we're on a spinning.
But we're looking at the evidence right here that the horizon dropped from this location right here, 7 minutes, 50 seconds.
Wow.
So he did that, both faces. So you got face 1 at 90, face 2, 270. He did both faces 10 times each, so a total of 20 measurements. He found that it dropped 7 minutes, 39 arc seconds. That's predicted. And it wasn't a Jesuit that did it. It was a Muslim that came up with that formula. At least gets credit for it.
Was it multi-tom-tom?
Multi-tom-tom is not. It's El Burundi. It was hundreds of years ago.
All right.
Right.
Well, I mean,
all right. So far, your map. You've made a claim that your map is accurate. But here I have I compared two flights. You said that a straight line becomes a what'd you say? A great circle, right?
Correct.
So I took two flights here, and according to your own quote, the distortions are magnified most where people live the least. Right, and so I have here. So here is flight 1, DL6 from Tokyo to Los Angeles. And I mapped it as good as I could. It didn't turn out quite straight on the on your map. Right, it comes out with a little bit of a curve, but I'm just estimating here. So maybe it's if it were plotted more accurately, it would be more straight. I don't know, but this is DL6 Toyota to Los Angeles. On the bottom there, you can see on a Mercator projection what it looks like. Then we have flight ELAL11 from New York to Tel Aviv. You can see there the red is on this one is the path, and it does look kind of straight. It's not quite there, but again, I didn't plot it out perfectly. Somebody asked, did I just say Toyota to LA? So, well, I tested your map, right? So here.
Did you wrap these onto a 3D sphere? Is that what you did?
No, I used your map.
I'm not seeing it.
I used your map. So all right, here I'll share. I'll share this the screen so you can see what I'm sending here. There you go. So you see that DL6 Toyota. You're right. I did say Toyota. Who said that? Tokyo to Los Angeles. And on the bottom is the Mercator projection, and on the top is of a real flight that happened, and on the top is using your map to do the line. So it looks like there's some sort of a supernatural teleportation on the edges that has to happen.
Simulation. Have you ever seen a
you have
video
no
game
evidence.
like Asteroids?
Yeah. So you can't use a video game as proof of how the world really works. So.
Do you understand modeling?
All right. Of course I do.
Do you understand modeling?
In engineering. Yeah.
Okay, so you understand that if you can model something, you can actually understand the nature of something and how it works through the use of modeling.
Yeah, modeling is not going to prove or be evidence that
if you can create a model that matches what you witness, then you understand that your model is accurate, and you can use it for other purposes as well, right?
Yeah, you go with that. All right, so we're going to go here.
Whoa.
I'm not talking about your I'm not talking about your teleportation model at this point. I'm talking about just assuming it and accepting it for a minute and testing your map. Okay?
Okay.
So we've got accepting your teleportation. Here's the flight. And accepting.
No, that's not correct.
What's not correct about it? This is the flight that they actually took. That's what you're seeing on there. Right? And so then I put it as good as I could using the red lines onto your map. So starting in Los Angeles on the left side and going mostly straight up, right? Going across, coming near the Aleutian Islands, which you also see on the Mercator projection, and then coming down on the other side towards Tokyo. All right. So do you agree that this would be on your map the same flight or the same route, the same position that the plane took?
Yeah, but the capture that you have right here, you understand, is missing a big chunk of like Alaska and Irkutsk and that up north, correct? It's been cut off.
From your map?
Well, what I'm seeing in the screen share in in the oblique Mercator map, the top's been cut off. You don't have all of Russia, the Alaskan islands there. The top's been cut off. The map.
Oh, that I used your map.
Okay.
In fact, I downloaded it from. You had a link in one of your videos that had a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you understand that we didn't make this map. Like we didn't draw it.
Yeah, but you're claiming it's accurate to some level, right?
Well, the world says it's the most accurate map of the world.
It's the most. It's the one with the least distortions. Yes, that was
Yes,
the quote.
so
the
any-
least distortions.
So any intelligent heliocentric or globe shill, if asked what map do you use, this should be the map that they pull up because it is the most accurate of the
No,
world.
It depends what you're trying to do.
Show the whole world in one shot.
If you want to show the whole world in one shot, that might be a way to do it. Yes, but if you're trying to do a
Well, thank you for admitting that because this is the most accurate way to show the whole world.
depending on what you're doing, right? There's a caveat on that. Because
What would you be doing that if I want to see the whole world in one map? This is the most accurate one. It has to be stereographic. I mean, seriously, in 2019, a person has to be intelligent enough to understand that if you're going to unwrap a sphere, if you're using like a 3D modeling program, it's stereographic. That's how all the meshes work. Stereographic. It has to be a stereographic map. That's what this is. So anybody,
that's
any
your
heliocentrist,
opinion. That's your opinion.
No.
There's other ways to do it. That depending on what you might want to do, will work better, right? So this one has a hugely distorted Alaska and eastern Russia. It's massively wrong, and everybody sees that. The southern part of Africa is ridiculous on this one.
do you know? Can you prove it? Can you prove it? Do you have?
I will
Have
get
you
to-
measure the square mileage?
I will get to that. Yeah. So anyway, let's continue with this test that I did of your map here, right? So do you agree that this is approximately the route that the plane took on the map?
Yeah,
that
but
you say
I'm
is
I'm
accurate
pointing
flat
out to
Earth
you
map?
that this map right here, the one that you're using, there needs to be more. It's cut off. It's not the. You could do it on that other one that I showed you. That's you got the more artistic styling where it's all crooked, and you'd be able to extend your lines farther.
Okay, so maybe this flight is longer than this is showing.
Of course, it's missing the top part of the map.
Okay, so it needs to be longer. Okay, let's just take it. This is the minimum length that the flight would be on this map. And this is accurate according to you. This is the correct and accurate non-satanic according to you map.
It has nothing to do with satanic. It has to do with being accurate. A stereographic map of the whole Earth.
Well,
That's
you called the AE map a satanic map.
no. I said the Globetrotter or fake flat Earth AE map model Satanist has been able
Okay.
has been able
you
to
don't
debunk
think,
it.
You don't think the AE map is satanic? Oh, that's fine. I don't.
No, the
really
people that promote it are.
Okay. All right. So, all right. This is approximately the flight route it took, and it's too short. Right?
Yeah, because the top of the map's missing.
Yeah. All right. That's
Right.
fine. That's fine. I just want to be sure that we understand each other. All right. So I took then another flight that was New York to Tel Aviv. And here on the top we see the route it actually took versus the one that they plotted, and then I attempted to match it as close as I could on your map, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let's see here. So I have I took the two lines that I drew, and for that went up and down, and I put them together approximately. Right? And so
But we know that this isn't going to be an accurate calculation.
Yeah,
now,
so
right?
the bottom one you're saying should be longer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, should be longer. So then what I did is I actually looked up the distances of those flights. So the DL6 that went from LA to Tokyo is the actual distance is 5,482 miles, and the one from New York to Tel Aviv is actually 5,671 miles, about 200 miles longer, right? But on your map, it's the other way around by double. So your map completely and utterly failed to get the right distance between those two positions.
Well, you should take that up with the people that are saying that it's the most accurate map of Earth.
No, you're the one
Right,
making the claim that this is the accurate flat Earth map, or are you not making that claim?
No, the people that
you said
the people that made the map
that the people
are
that
saying
made
it's
the
the
map,
most accurate.
they said it's a projection, right? You check out my channel, Awake Souls. There has been a working flat model for over 2 years, and not one globetard has been able to debunk it, right? So I just tested it, and it's wrong.
You screwed it up, and you don't know what you're doing.
What did I do wrong? A flat map of a flat surface is really easy to make.
Have you ever? It's a stereographic map. You would have to trace your paths of latitude and longitude, and
Which I did.
it's but you didn't have you didn't have the whole map here. If you wanted to be,
But your claim was that it wasn't long enough. And that kind of screwed you, because it's already double the length the other one, and which is not right. So now you're backtracking.
well, the thing is I wouldn't, the way you're tracing the lines up across.
Now you
Or
agreed
the-
that this was about right. You didn't have a problem with the approximation of this, right? The plane
what?
actually went near the Aleutians. The plane actually went along parallel to Japan and the string of islands between Japan and that big peninsula off of Russia, right? Unless you have some specific issue with how I drew this, then this is your map. I tested your map. I drew it on your map, and you said it wasn't long enough, right?
Yeah.
And it's double the length of the other one, even though in reality it's 200 miles shorter. Okay, so that didn't work out very well.
Did you wrap it onto a sphere and check out the Great Circle route?
Yeah, we can do that right now if you want. Because we don't wrap maps onto the sphere. What we do is we unwrap maps from the sphere.
No, you're assuming that we're on a curved surface, which we're not.
And that's, again, a claim that you've not supported.
No, it's a claim that you've not supported.
I just did.
You haven't proved that there's curvature.
I did.
This is
I did, and you just denied it with no reason. All right, so here's Tokyo, and here is, right, incredulity doesn't count for anything here. Let's see. Forgot to do measure distance.
incredulity, huh?
All right.
Is that your one word that you know?
There is, let's go out of here. There is the Great Circle route right there. You can see it goes up just underneath the Aleutians, goes close to the Sea of Okhotsk. Get that plenty wrong.
So I
and the real distance here, 5,467 miles, which is what we found, right? And we can do the same thing.
all right. I see what you did wrong here.
What's
I
that?
understand your cognitive error.
All right. What is it?
It's the direction that you draw the lines, drawing them up like that. If you were to actually take the latitudes, right, of the flight, the whole distance, marked out by the longitudes, and you were to trace that out, those lines wouldn't, your red lines wouldn't be going up towards the top. They would be following the latitudes across,
Sorry, that's
right, north.
not how it actually works. A great circle doesn't follow the latitudes. Do you not know that? A great circle does not.
You're screwing
follow
everything up
latitudes.
because the stereographic map is already, it's already eliminated the room line.
So here,
Right? You're the one that's doing everything backwards, multi-step.
so I'm taking the actual flight that actually flew, the real plane that really went that route, and I'm plotted it onto your map, right here.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now that in order to get the line that you're looking for, it doesn't, that red line that you drew doesn't go up. It follows the curve of, if you were to just dead reckon, draw the straight line from Los Angeles to the edge of the map at the correct latitude there, and then from the correct latitude on the right side over to Tokyo, that's how you would end up with the Great Circle route when the map was wrapped onto a sphere.
You,
Right? If you
No,
looked at with your red lines wrapped on right here, it'd be going to nowhere.
so I'm not sure if you understand what a great circle route is.
No, I do.
A great
You're the
circle
one
route
that's
does not follow lines of latitude. A great circle route,
It-
even if
it-
you started and stop at the same latitude, it does not follow the line of latitude.
because it dead reckons across it on a stereographic map.
Right here.
You're the one that's
Here's the straight route when we get the globe up there, right? But then when we look at it straight on here, we can see it curves. It changes latitudes. So the actual flight that actually happened, where the plane actually went, is what I plotted on your map, and the distances that the plane actually flew didn't match your map.
Well, the funny thing is I have this flight back in videos. It's the Tokyo to Los Angeles. I've got it all modeled up and in 3D Blender show people this route. I've already covered this a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem to work.
But that's because you don't know what you're doing. You're stupid. You put these red lines going up to the top of the map, and I'm telling you that when you wrap this on, you'll see that that's not correct. You don't know anything about the room lines and plotting a straight line across, dead reckoning across a stereographic map. You're doing everything backwards. The Dunning-Kruger effect
Yes, be
is
cordial.
really deep.
If you have no evidence
the
or
heliocentrics.
wish to give up, please signal this by using ad hominem attacks, unsupported claims, yelling strawman arguments, and similar techniques. Thank you for the acknowledgement there. So you agreed while I was going through this that this followed the right map, the right course.
No.
And now you're backtracking. Thank you very much for backtracking. Okay, so I tested your map a few other ways. You have three poles on it, right? Or two,
No.
right? It's
Two.
split. The problem is it doesn't work for Africa. So in Cape Town, when they're standing at night looking due south, they see the south celestial pole. But according to your map, they need to look 82 degrees the other direction. Now,
tell me that your brain didn't short circuit and you think that's which way on this map do you think 90 degrees south is? Where the arrow's pointing?
due south, according to this map, would be right
where your
there. Yeah,
bottom arrow.
Yeah, that
where your
bottom
bottom
arrow.
arrow is pointing.
Yeah,
Correct.
that would be
Exactly.
approximately due south. But the south celestial pole over Antarctica is over to the right there.
Understand how far away these things are taking place in the sky?
The distance doesn't change the angle.
You think
Distance
it
doesn't
does,
change
because-
the angle.
because if you're down south there and you're looking for the Southern Cross, the Sigma Octans, that space
Yeah, they're
in
going to
the
see
sky
it
right there.
due south.
Yeah, due south, and you're going to be looking up right here, probably at an angle of maybe 30 degrees or so. And you're going to see Sigma Octans in your sky, and you're going to see the sky rotating clockwise
Yeah, due
around
south.
Sigma Octans.
Due south.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that happens at every point on this map. Your latitude and longitude set the celestial rotation in the sky for you personally within your circle of sight.
Yeah.
Now, your circle of
Except
sight is limited, and
except you
it's
look due
usually
south.
limited to about 20 miles or so.
No, it's not. You can see stars. They're significantly farther than that.
No, they're not.
No, they're
Do you
not.
understand
Do
that
you
when you
have?
get in an airplane and you get up
Wait, hold
to
on, hold
like
on. No,
40,000 feet that people don't see the stars anymore?
Actually, I was just on a plane and I saw the stars. So, when I don't see,
When
when you look
Yeah,
due
so
south
let's
in
let's go
Cape
back
Town,
let's
what
go
do you
back
see?
to
You
the
see?
detail of the moon.
No, 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 no. We're looking at your map because the debate the challenge was check out my channel Awake Souls. There has been a working flat model for over 2 years. So I tested it. Looking due south from Cape Town, you would, according to your map, you would not see Sigma Octantis or the South Celestial Pole. You'd have to turn yourself 82 degrees to the left in order to see it. Almost
Okay, tell,
due
tell me
east,
tell me
according
that
to
you're
your
not
map. I'm
not that mentally
absolutely serious.
challenged.
How is it that you can explain that something that is 82 degrees to the east would appear to you directly south? It's
Okay, so
this is
you have the one angle here, your 82 degrees or whatever like that,
mm-hmm.
pointing over to that point.
Yep,
That
the South
that on
Celestial
the
Pole.
ground, that on the ground, if a person was holding a compass, they would be looking at south of east on the compass with that line that heading right there. Due south is like your line that's pointing down.
Yep, where they see the South Celestial Pole.
Yes, 90 degrees. You hold your compass, you
Yes.
look up. Exactly. This is an overall map of latitudes and longitudes for the entire Earth. And then all the compass headings, north, east, southwest, they happen within your circle of sight. You see where the sun rises, where the sun sets, moon rises, moon sets. You see them arc over your head. They rise out at the horizon. They go up over your head, depending on your latitude, tells you its declination. It's all super well understood.
Yeah, but you
The sky
didn't
rotates
explain.
around an individual on a fixed Earth,
You didn't
and this
explain
right
how
here is the map.
how the South Celestial Pole does appear due south when you're in Cape Town, but according to your map that you say is accurate, it's not. It's almost 90 degrees off.
No, you would have to continue sailing, following that
We're
line.
not sailing. We're the people standing still in Cape Town, South Africa. Look due south, and they really see the South Celestial Pole. But according to your map, it's way off to a different angle.
I'm sorry that your brain doesn't function. If you got into a boat at that blue dot and traveled south, you would follow that line of longitude that's alongside that red line until it circled all the way back in to the
Oh,
South Pole.
so you're saying that the light inexplicably follows the lines of latitude or the lines
No,
of
I'm
longitude?
saying that this is the map of the latitudes and longitudes in a simulation that it shows the land masses and their orientation and the distances apart.
So this isn't an
And
accurate flat
that
map.
what?
This is not an accurate flat map of the flat Earth.
Why would you all of a sudden say something so stupid?
Well, I just want to make sure, is this accurate or not to you
That's
of the flat Earth?
of Earth. These are the continents that we are familiar
Yeah,
with.
but you're
Right?
claiming
Have you
it's
traveled?
flat.
Have you ever traveled? Have you ever been around anywhere where you've gone up and down a coastline, maybe gone to a Caribbean island or two? Right. This right here is the land masses of Earth depicted on a flat map with the latitudes and longitudes.
Okay,
What point do you not understand?
I get that completely. So is it an accurate flat Earth map? Of
That's
the
what we're
flat
told.
Earth?
Now, can I
That's not what we're told. The people that made this map say it's a projection, which immediately means that it's not an accurate flat map. It is
Okay, and then I asked you
definitely
which is the flat map that you think is more
There
accurate than
is
this?
no flat map that is accurate, so I will not ever say that there is an accurate flat map.
What's the most accurate flat map there
I
is?
don't care. You are making
You're looking
a claim,
at it.
You're making a claim that the Earth is flat. Is this the accurate flat Earth map, or is there a different one, or do you not know the flat Earth map?
You're just getting ridiculous now.
Well, I don't know. You say that you have a model that's accurate and that nobody's debunked, and I've debunked it twice now so far because the distances of those measured distances of the flights didn't match, and now the angle to the South Celestial Pole from South Africa doesn't match. Would you like to see my next one?
No, you have to prove that we're spinning, and you have to prove that there's curvature before we go on.
The goalposts here. All right. So here is Anchorage, Alaska. I was just there in July. And I found it funny because Alaska.
Well, look, now you've got a map that's not cut off. Which one?
Well, I've cropped them as I've made them, right? So the next scene will be cropped, so that we can examine it more closely, right? So here is according to your map, and the June solstice, which I was there about July 7 or 8. We got there, so it was like sunset was 11:30 at night. It was crazy that, and of course it's twilight forever.
What time did you see the sun go all the way around without setting?
No, it's set. I was in Anchorage. I wasn't far enough north to see it not set. So
all right, because that's another thing that there's absolutely no proof of.
Okay, so here we have the sunset.
There is no proof of a 24-hour up all day sun.
Yeah,
correct.
Stop changing the topic. But if you want, I'll play that video later. And Geistview will maybe be happy to post his video. So here is
we've got
year
2019, and we have like 6 CGI videos on YouTube, and somebody that has one of them.
All right.
Wow.
He's in the chat.
Well, what a moron. I mean,
all right. So hold on a second. I'm on this one right here. So I'm testing your model here. So that was your challenge. 11:42 p.m. sunset, and over on the right side is where sunset is, according to where the subsolar point at 11:42 p.m. in Alaska. And then we've got the sunrise time, which is 4:20 a.m. And then the subsolar point that's well documented, well known. That's where that blue dot on the left, right? So those are the angles.
I hope you're not doing what you're trying to do right here, because
these are the angles that we should see the sunrise and sunset. Yeah. So I know you're gonna try to just laugh it away, but it's these things are actually pretty simple, right? Light.
Yeah.
So.
For anybody to not understand the type of moronic behavior that you're trying to do right here is,
if you have no evidence or wish to give up, please signal this by using ad hominem attacks, unsupported claims, yelling, strawman arguments, and similar techniques. Thank you. So here we go.
Let me debunk you before you start.
So here it is. No, I'll do it, and then you'll have a chance after. So here is the observed sunrise and sunset angles, and I've made them match the direction. It's kind of hard to do, but you can see that line of a latitude there is extremely sideways and curving there. So I approximately, it's hard to do because it's all curvy, but there's the predicted sunrise and sunset angles, right? Got them from suncalc.net and timeanddate.com. The sunrise is a 32-degree bearing, and midday the sun is due south, and sunset is 328 degrees bearing. Right?
Are you done?
So there we have a comparison between the two. They don't line up at all. Your observations your predictions of your map do not match observations. So, all right, go ahead.
All right. I mean, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. You're trying to create like a physical sun, where what do you think the sun is? Like you think it's 3,000 miles up, 32 miles in diameter, and a huge ball of gas that's traveling across this
the Earth is
equatorial
flat,
line right here?
If the Earth is flat, then it's above it somehow, right? And it has to be at some some distance above it. So
It rises at the horizon, comes
wait,
up over your head based on
what's the
your
elevation?
latitude.
But what's the elevation of the sun?
The elevation, as
Yeah,
in
how
feet.
high above the Earth is it?
No, I told you it rises at the horizon. You see it come up out of the water, out of the ground, at the horizon.
Where is it physically
Literally
located?
at the horizon, and it circles around you. You can see it at, its declination based on your latitude, and then it sets at the horizon. This is all what is predicted of the behaviors of how a world works in a simulation. Have you ever played a video game?
Yeah, this isn't a video game. You've provided no proof that this is a video game, so we're just going to use reality.
No, you say reality, but you're talking about materialistic psyop, like Pythagorean, satanic. This materialistic, atomistic universe is nothing but Satanism. It really is Pythagorean. It is across the board. The whole atomistic model.
Yeah, and until you have evidence that the world isn't physical, then I will continue to ignore it.
All right. Well, let me do a screen share. Oh.
But you so far you haven't done anything except say this doesn't work and I don't like it and therefore it's some other way. You haven't actually provided any evidence that you're correct, and so this stands so far as
what you're doing
wrong.
Right now is exactly what you're claiming that I was doing. But let's just go to a basic video. Clouds behind the sun is one of the best ways to prove that we're not in a material
do they have
reality.
You have a good solar filter?
Yes. The best. Watch this. All right. So the filter is applied right here.
What do you mean is applied?
Watch. So there is a variable ND filter that's on the lens in the left-hand footage that I was able to adjust to create the sharp contrast edge.
Okay.
But the emboss filter on the right is a software filter that shows contrast. And if you do any research about the emboss filter, this works off of the algorithms it shows what's in front of and behind three-dimensionally.
Okay, so
you can test it.
But hold on, so you don't have a solar filter on it?
No, I told you I have a variable ND filter on the left.
That's not a solar filter.
Are you stupid?
They make solar filters.
Yeah, a variable
and yours isn't. Yours is a neutral density filter. That's not a solar filter.
You can actually adjust it. So in this footage, maybe we got to rewind it so that, man, let's go back here. It's all explained in the whole video. You can see where I
wanted to test it out.
Yeah, listen.
Perfectly. This footage is my third recording with a Nikon P1000 and recorded on March 17, 2019. I just received a variable ND filter that goes from ND2 to 32 and wanted to test it out. It worked perfectly and allowed me to film clouds behind the sun at a much higher elevation than I had been able to before. You will notice that with a twist of the ring on the variable ND filter that I was able to keep the sun from being overexposed and blowing out the shot. This footage is sped up 400% to conserve time and for your viewing pleasure. I will share a link to the unlisted, unedited footage in the description if you want to study it in detail. Please sit back and relax as you watch clouds are clearly in front of and behind the sun.
This shows how close the sun is. When you can have clouds behind the sun, clouds behind the moon, the fact that we can see the detail of the craters in the moon, I've done the tests to see where things begin blurring or pixelating out, and about 9 miles.
Okay, so this is still overexposed.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I can
I
clearly
can.
see it's overexposed.
No, it's not. You can clearly see with the emboss filter that
Okay.
it's not.
So now, I just want to is this okay? Footage, right? So if I say this is obviously CGI, you're going to say no, it's not, right?
Yeah, I've got the live stream to back it up.
Okay.
That's I cover my tail that way.
Yep.
You want to
So-
see the live stream?
No. I just want to examine your standard of evidence, right?
Yeah, live stream it just like I did the footage in the mall with the model disappearing as she was walking away from me. That was live streamed as well. All right, so this right here is just glaring evidence
Yeah.
of the fact that we're in a simulation.
There is glare. This is definitely glare.
No, look at the emboss filter on the right. It doesn't. Those edges are determined by algorithms within the software. It shows the hard edges of what's in front of what. You comprehend what you're seeing here.
Yeah, I'm a software engineer, so I know about software, and I also
Okay.
do know about
So the
photography.
algorithm.
I can see clearly this is overexposed.
It's not. You can actually see this with your bare eyes once you know what to look for. Find a day with these conditions, with clouds out at the horizon at the right elevation. You can see it with your own bare eyes.
Yeah, your own bare eyes can't see the glare either. Your eyes are overexposed, too.
No,
It doesn't.
You can.
So, all right. So your overexposed video is proof of simulation. Awesome. So,
Yeah, you've
can
got
we-
clouds
how
behind the sun.
How come we can't see like the sunspots and stuff on the sun?
There were no sunspots. Stay.
That,
Otherwise,
that
we would
day?
see 'em.
Well, there are always sunspots. There's
No,
always
there's not.
there's always some texture to it. Yeah.
No, there's not.
Oh, okay. It's not. Just you say it's not. That's good. Okay.
Do you see the clouds? Do you see the ones that are in front, the ones that are behind?
The wispy ones that are overexposed. Yes, I see the wispy ones that are overexposed. It's just overexposed.
There's nothing I can do for you. All I do is hope and pray that there's one person out there that cares about truth, that comes across this
I care about truth
and understands.
and
No, you don't. Not at all.
You're just fishing for things that support your desired outcome.
You get paid to shill for the globe.
I get paid.
I'm
by,
out here.
I get
I'm
paid
out
by,
here recording this information.
I get paid by
I bought
people
these
that think
cameras.
I, do a
I
good
don't
job.
get paid for what I do. I don't ask for money. Caring about the truth
I
is
care
not
about the
something
truth
that.
too. So is there?
No, you don't.
It's a competition of who cares more for the truth.
No, you don't care at all. You would have like reached out. You would have actually gotten a camera and
I
recorded this for yourself
Don't
like
need
other
to get
people.
a camera to do this, right? I have. You know, I've got plenty of things that I've done, but I don't need to, right?
Do you have a drone? Do you have a P1000?
And I don't need those.
Then why are you in this topic and why would somebody pay
There's
you?
no credentials to be in this topic of having a drone or a P1000.
You don't have
There's
anything
no
that qualifies
requirement
you
for
as
that.
somebody should listen to.
All I need to do
There's a
is
heliocentric shill.
look at the evidence that's already been claimed. All right, so
And people should pay you for that,
they
right?
should. Hey, people, pay me more, right? So
Yeah. All right. I'm you're dense.
so-
You're just the same tactics over and over.
yeah. So and I'm not done testing your map. We talked about how wide is Australia and how wide is Africa.
We talked
Right?
about that? What do you mean?
We talked about earlier about how wide Australia is. So I took your map here, and I tested your map again, and what I did is I took Australia from your map and I overlaid it on Africa there, right across the Tropic of Capricorn. It's a little bit wider, not much, just a little bit wider, right? And then I measured using Google Maps here, and unless maybe you think Google Maps is way too wrong. So, we're buffering, people are saying. Can't control it, it's just not right. So anyway, there, Australia is about 4,000 kilometers wide, and the good people of Australia can agree to that or not agree to that, and I think they'll agree to that. Then Africa, across the Tropic of Capricorn, is about 2,200 miles or kilometers wide. Right? So, according to your map, where's my conclusion one? Oh, I didn't make it. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, right there, we found that Australia is 4,000 miles wide, and across that same area there, the Tropic of Capricorn, it's about 2,200 miles wide. So your map doesn't work again. It's way skewed. So that's my last test. Every one of your the times I tested your map, it did not work.
All right. Let's just keep this really, really, really simple. All right. Do you understand that if we were on a globe, the most accurate map would be a stereographic map?
Depending on your needs. But I don't think it matters, because you think it's flat, so a flat map is what you need to produce, not a stereographic, most accurate globe map. You need to produce the most accurate flat map, which you've not done. You've in fact produced a map that does nothing.
Did I produce it? Did I produce
claimed
this
it's
map?
Accurate. So if you don't claim it's accurate, that's fine.
Because the most recognized authorities in the world claim it's the most accurate flat map of the world. The people that actually have the credentials and are
the most accurate projection from
cartographers,
the sphere.
It's going to be a stereographic map, correct? That was the question.
It depends on the need.
No, you're jogging around something. Just
don't really care.
Don't make yourself look stupid here.
I don't
If
care.
you are looking for the most accurate flat map of a globe, is it going to be stereographic? Now, show us that you have some common sense.
It doesn't matter, because the question is, do you have a flat Earth map that works? And so far, you haven't produced that. So yeah, we could have a discussion among people that agree that the Earth is a sphere about which map would be best to use for different circumstances. But that's not our conversation. Our conversation is, you're claiming the Earth is flat and you have a working map. You haven't produced a working map of the flat Earth.
It's a stereographic map, and this is the best one that's been made publicly available. If you give me access to an airplane, and I can go around and actually record everything in the entire Earth, then I'll give you a more accurate map. But until then, we are unfortunately limited to have to use what's been made available, and this is considered to be the most accurate stereographic map in the world.
Yeah, a projection of the sphere.
No, that
so you all right?
Only
so
only if you can show us the curvature
and
the spin. Right?
I did.
No, you didn't.
And right here,
I showed you that curvature exists right within a flat mall floor.
So at best, your claim is it happens on both. At best, but you haven't provided great evidence for it.
No, I did provide great evidence for it. It is actually great evidence.
So now, have you seen the curve left to right? Like
no, there's no curve left to right.
People like to do the high altitude balloons, right? You ever see those?
Yeah.
So hold on, people are saying I'm buffering a lot. I dropped the output to 3K. So.
All right. Well, I was hoping that this would be a lot more confrontational and a little bit more fun. This is just another like super boring, like droning on drivel with a
All right,
heliocentric
so
shell.
you made a claim that you have an accurate map, and it's not accurate. So, yeah,
You've made a claim that we're on a spinning globe and you haven't provided any evidence.
it's on the screen right now that it's a sphere. Now, would you?
Those numbers, come on.
Well, it's this measurement here is what the numbers are from. So your incredulity does nothing to support it. Now, if you'd want, we could talk about how we measure rotation other than just Bob Nodell.
No, we know that Bob Nodell, he
said
manually rotated a fiber optic gyro on a lunch tray.
Other than Bob Nodell.
We know about FE Core being, a satanic psyop.
I'm not.
We know about all the.
Who else is in on it? I guess.
Let's go through your Facebook friends again, because you got a great list compiled.
I don't. None of those are the ones that are measuring the rotation of the Earth.
All right,
Right.
I've gotten bored with this. It's pretty pointless.
People use optical gyroscopes to measure the rotation of the Earth all the time. It's a critical part of a lot of things. So here's a peer-reviewed study: how to detect the Chandler and annual wobble of the Earth with a large ring laser gyroscope. So now your standard of evidence, I'm sure you'd allow peer-reviewed research, right?
I'm not peer reviewed. You're going to go into scientific drivel.
No, you don't.
The American Physical Society. This is all Freemasonic, Jesuit, heliocentric crap.
Hold on. That's an unsupported claim. Let's see here. What did I say? If you make a claim, it's usually expected to provide supporting evidence. Okay, so they are Freemasons. They're Freemasons. You have evidence that who was it? Who was it? That's Freemasons that you have.
Societies.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with societies
Physical
at all?
Society is a Freemason organization. Show your evidence, please.
Let's do a Google search.
American Physical Society is a subset of the Freemasons, people. Here it comes.
All the societies are subsets of
the Freemasons?
the Satanists. So the Freemasons, right. Jesuits, Knights Templars, Rosicrucians, these are all Satanists that have created societies.
Every society is you got a lot of evidence to show now.
What do I need to show?
You need to show evidence for your claim that they are all subsets of Freemasons or Knights Templar or do you, I don't know who, Zionists, Jesuits.
Why don't you pull up Eric DeBay just put out a video today that he named a bunch of the societies.
I don't care about Eric DeBay. You don't like Eric DeBay, do you?
No, but
he was a DeBay fan. I'm not a DeBay fan, so neither of us are DeBay fans. So why would you suggest that we look at his stuff?
Because he's a Freemason or a Jesuit, and he's outing all the Freemasons and Jesuits.
Wait, and you have evidence that he's a Freemason or a Jesuit?
Yes.
You do? Well, you should. Yes. You should pop that up, the evidence, because then the other flat earthers like Russian vids and 33UC, they'd be all over him. And yeah, but all right. So you don't have evidence that the American Physical Society is a subset of the Freemasons yet? Still waiting on that. Nothing? Okay.
Oh, I'm not even looking.
So here, deep underground rotation measurements, Gingerino ring laser gyroscope in Gran Sasso. This ring laser gyroscope is measuring the rotation of the Earth.
It's a great words. No proof.
There it is. There it is. So far you have incredulity. If you make a claim, it's expected to provide supporting evidence. I've provided supporting evidence here. And you say, and you just dismiss it with zero evidence. Thank you. So here's another
No,
one.
we've covered LIGO and all
a
these.
1.82 square meter ring laser gyroscope for nano rotating motion sensing. This is a really nice one. They measured earthquakes that were extremely small from very, very far distances, in addition to the rotation of the Earth. This is a nice one. These are all on my website, mctoon.net / hold on, rotation. I'll put it in the chat for anybody who wants to see it. So, all right, next one here is a. This is the same.
What are you
one
doing?
here,
What?
So.
You're just rambling right now.
Well, you were wondering
happened?
about rotation of the Earth, and so I'm presenting rotation of the Earth evidence.
Oh, I got you.
So and I mean, you don't like it, and so you're just dismissing it out of hand with no evidence, which I kind of expected, because
No, we've already covered all this. It's
no, you didn't.
It's boring. All right,
I didn't cover any of
seriously.
it. So.
No, Ronnie of the Limitless channel and myself.
Well,
for 3 years we've gone through. This has all been covered. It's too boring now. I'm to the point where anybody that continues to believe that they're on a spinning ball, I think should burn in hell for eternity. It's really just stupid at this point that somebody would think something like that. And you're a paid shill. You're
of course,
in an organized group that's working as part of an agenda, a psyop to promote this
unsupported claims.
satanic ideology. And you're not going to give up, and I'm not going to give up. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. The truth's going to come out, and
the truth is
you're going to end up burning in hell. So that's just the way it's going to be.
Is the cult you're in that if you don't believe the Earth is flat, you get to burn in hell?
I'm not in a cult. There is no organization.
No, that's a cult. If you're saying that you burn in hell if you don't believe in the shape of the Earth, right?
No, I'm saying that the
that's
stupidity
a cult.
level.
That's
the
a cult.
stupidity level of a person
you claimed that I'm burning in hell because I don't agree with your view on the Earth.
Have you heard of the Great Deception in the Bible? Have you heard of the Great Deception?
What the hell kind of weirdo cult is that?
Have you heard of the Great Deception?
Do you have?
Have you heard of the Great Deception?
Have
you heard of it?
I don't care about.
Have you heard of the Great Deception?
You're claiming that anybody that doesn't agree with your view of the shape of the Earth is going to burn in hell, dude. That's pretty sick.
Your cosmology
really
is made up to support the idea that there is no creator. That's what the entire purpose of your cosmology is.
You know nothing about my cosmology.
You're a heliocentric shill. I know all about your cosmology.
But you're saying that if I think the Earth is a sphere, that I'm in a cult.
Because we know it's not. That you're part of promoting a Jesuit psyop that's some 500 years old. This argument was still going on strongly 100 years ago when Einstein was here on Earth. Like this, just because we have modern television and supposedly went to the moon, like everybody went brain dead, but most people even 100 years ago understood that they weren't spinning around, that it was the sky moving.
Really?
Right. It's just recently
and where's your supported claim for that? Because
Einstein was still having to argue this debate when he was here.
But wait a second. Who was he arguing the spinning Earth with?
People that believed that we weren't spinning.
Who?
Intelligent people that didn't think that they were spinning?
Name one that he was arguing with that thought the Earth wasn't spinning. Name one.
What? I'm supposed to know the name of the person that he debated?
One person.
You point the name out.
I have no. Why would I name somebody? I don't think there is anybody that argued with him. Right? The Earth was known to be spinning by all of those people. None of the discussions that Einstein had was about the Earth spinning.
His coordinate system, the entire relativity is all about. All of relativity.
This is a claim you're not going to be able to support. Be careful. All right, I'm ready. Make sure you can support this claim. Go ahead.
He made up relativity as a what would you call it? The alternative to what we actually witness and measure, and he made everything relative, which it's not.
All right, so where was the discussion about whether or not the Earth was spinning? Who was it that he was talking to? And how does
I don't know.
relativity figure into that?
You're just getting weird now.
You're making claims that Einstein was arguing with people about the Earth spinning. And then I ask for who, and you have nobody.
Just look
How is that
up
weird?
the coordinate system quote from Einstein. It's a quote. The CS, the coordinate system, whether the Earth is at rest and the stars are in motion, or whether or not
All
it's
right.
the
Well, go ahead.
stars are in motion, the Earth is rest,
You-
is
you
just
find-
a coordinate system, right?
Find the one you're thinking about. We'll bring the entire thing in and look at it. But are you talking like the frame of reference that he talked about? Relative frames of reference? Inertial frames of reference? While we're at it here, I'll give you a minute to do that. So let's see.
I got it.
Hold on. No, give me just a second here for this. I got because I'm a shill, right? From the Jesuits apparently. Pentalica for $5 says, so the sun is only 50 miles away when it's setting or rising. Yeah, apparently like the Greeks thought, it fell into the ocean and then went through a tunnel. Demonic Davros, I bet you're gonna like him. $2 Australian. Can you ask him what the lights are at night, like the stars? Yeah, that's a good question. John Watson for £2. Here's a donation to Awake AW's Solar Filter Fund. Awake Souls, maybe Solar Filter Fund. So John Watson gave me $2 for your Solar Filter Fund. So I don't know. All right.
Keep it. You need it. So I don't know if you can see here. It's a very popular quote. Either CS, coordinate system, could be used with equal justification. Either could be used with equal justification. The two sentences, the sun is at rest and the earth moves, or the sun moves and the earth is at rest, would simply mean two different conventions concerning two different coordinate systems. So this is specifically about flat earth because we're talking about the motion of earth. If you're going to use as your explanation sunrise and sunset is because earth is moving, or I'm going to say earth is at rest and the sun is rotating, this is flat earth versus spherical earth, and this is the battle that
Yeah, all right,
Einstein was in.
Can what's the whole quote? Right, we want to have that, but and I don't argue this. When you're looking at coordinate systems, you're right. It doesn't matter, right? That's just frames of reference and coordinate system. That's and you know, if you're using a tape measure, right, and you go over to one side of the house and you use 0 as the thing to measure the width of a room, right? You start at 0 at one side of the room, 0 at the other side of the room, right? And then you go to a different room, you're going to use a different coordinate system. You're not going to start over in the living room, way over in the living or the front of the house, and go all the way across to measure the distance of a different room. You're going to go right in that room. You're going to use a different coordinate system, right?
Stop. The whole point of this was the fact that this conversation is a modern conversation, that it's not settled,
Okay,
that it's only recently
who
that.
Who else did he? What was this in reference to? Who was he talking to that was saying the Earth is flat and he's responding to that?
Well, go do some research.
You made the claim. I don't need to do
No,
research on your
I'm reading
claim.
the quote. I'm reading the quote.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because it's coordinate systems and references. That's reference frames. That's fine. It doesn't change anything. It's not proof of anything. That's just saying that you can use different coordinate systems in different places. It doesn't say anything that he was specifically having an argument with somebody. They're talking about coordinate systems.
All right.
So
this is pointless. This is pointless.
So you don't you don't really have any evidence yet that it's flat, right? That's the problem.
You don't have any evidence that it's rotating or curved.
I did provide evidence it's rotating, and because you didn't like it, you tried to dismiss it out of hand.
That's what you did when I presented my evidence.
You didn't have evidence. You made a claim without evidence.
No, I presented evidence.
You said it does this because of rendering.
It does. It
rendering.
any anybody that has an intelligent mind can watch the video and see that it's undebunkable.
Yeah. So
I mean,
now
it's
if
rational.
we're going to
If
just,
anybody would have tried to debunk it, like
I totally debunked
I've got a
your
lot of
map.
people that hate me, they would have.
You didn't
All right, but
actually
it's
bring.
time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go.
Oh,
You're
you said you
you're a
didn't have a.
shill,
You said you didn't
and
have a time. So here
no, you're too
Einstein.
boring. You're too
Einstein's
boring.
quote: "Since I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment, though the Earth is revolving around the sun."
Though, right?
Yeah, he
He's got the
said
evidence.
the Earth is revolving around the sun. So if you're gonna make any claims about Einstein, right, then this gets included as well, right?
Yeah, I sure wish
said
he
the
was here
Earth
to
is
debate because he
But you brought
hopefully
him
would have
up.
been a little bit more intelligent than you.
You brought him up.
Yeah, he's a
So,
clown
well, then why did you bring him up if you're trying to claim that?
because he's recognized by like people. He's this promoted Jew that he was so smart, but he wasn't. He's a moron.
Really?
I would have loved to have debated him over you.
So
Maybe he would have had a little bit more common sense, but chances are he would have behaved the same way as you.
you don't think his stuff stood the test of time, huh? It's been
No, it's stupid. I can tear relativity apart.
oh. So do PET scan machines work?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, didn't think so. So relativity doesn't work.
No, it's just a stupid concept
our-
because everything is relative to an absolute. He just forgot the most important part of the whole statement, that everything is relative to an absolute. He just says, "Oh, everything's relative," and like
Yeah.
he's supposed to be some sort of smart guy, and he just proved what an idiot he is.
So interesting thing. In 1972, Haefel and Keating took super accurate cesium clocks, and they flew them in opposite directions around the world. Twice.
Let's just
And they
wrap this up.
found-
Let's,
this is fantastic because of relativity. The predicted drift right here is let me. The prediction was that the ones that went let's see, east should have lost 40 nanoseconds. The ones that went west should have gained 275 nanoseconds right there.
wow, you are so boring.
And then here's the cool thing. This is according to relativity, right? So this is a test of relativity.
You're just going to try to bore and grind everybody
So-
right into the ground with your boredom, like
right, look at this.
strategically, right?
Here's the actual measurements. This is fantastic. I love it. I just found out about this recently. It's such a cool thing. The ones that went the measurement was 59 nanoseconds and 273 nanoseconds within the margin of error. So they tested relativity by flying clocks around the Earth in two different directions, and it worked. So there you go. That was pretty cool. I love that one. So you can claim you debunked relativity, but sorry. Repeat this test. Please repeat this test. Are you still there?
I'm just thinking how boring you are.
All
Can we
right.
wrap this
Thank
up?
you. All right. You know what? So Limitless, right? Your buddy Ronnie James Dio. He somebody, who was it? So if he wants to come in, maybe we'll do another stream.
No,
some people
no,
were
no,
interested.
nobody
in
wants to
Limitless.
talk to you. You're
you
so
wanted to
boring.
talk to no, not me. Limitless. If you wanted to have a little after show and come in and you could talk, maybe AT2 would want to set something up. Are you there, Jared? But Limitless, what do you think? Are you interested? What? Oh, he's not saying anything. He maybe isn't. Let me send him a message quick. So, all right. Well, yeah, I can see if, stuff like this might be boring because it totally contradicts. There he is. Totally contradicts your pre-selected outcome. So AT2 is ready. Let's see. So how about this? Limitless. Do you want to? He didn't answer. I guess I don't know if he is or not. He's kind of quiet. He's pretty chatty the whole time, and now he's super quiet. What's up, buddy? And,
you're just boring. Let's just wrap this up.
No, you can go. I just want to before we finish this. I want to get see if Limitless was interested.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take off. This has been a really, really boring time. And
sorry, I wrecked your silly model.
You didn't do anything. You didn't wreck anything. You didn't prove that we're on a spinning ball. This is going to come down to whether or not people buy into the I have no creator narrative or I have a creator narrative.
I don't know why the most of the people that believe in a creator don't take your flat model either. So it doesn't really. It's just your opinion, you know.
No, it's actually verifiably true.
No, it's your opinion about religion.
Right? No, it's your opinion that it's my opinion. It's actually verifiably fact.
Oh, so all right. Well, I'll go back to my first one here, where due south of Cape Town is doesn't match, and he left. So, and Limitless is super quiet still. So I think AT2 is going to set this up for something. So Marty Mouse, these guys sound like they came from Westboro Baptist Church. Yeah, and so I had looked at some of his stuff before. And basically, he thinks that everybody that doesn't agree with him is a Satanist. It's a pretty weird cult. Yeah, Geistview, he did run off. So he got bored of getting evidence that destroyed his map here. Not one thing that I tested actually worked. So Bill Smith, I'm religious and do not believe in flat Earth. Thus, I belong to the wrong religion. And Bill Smith, I too am religious and do not believe in flat Earth, as is basically everybody. So James Collins says he kind of sounds like Nathan Roberts. Yeah, I think Nathan Roberts likes to accuse everybody else of being, being a whatever, a Satanist or whatever. But I think Jason wins for the most everybody's a Satanist thing. So Anthony B, maybe you want to come in and support your claims here. All you did was read a theory. See, I don't think you understand science well enough. So yeah, and I did not say Pac-Man. I held my tongue there. It is a ridiculous Pac-Man. Asteroids. He tried to use asteroids as like proof. So. All right, I think AT2 is maybe setting up a Meet, a Google Meets. So hold on a second. So maybe what we'll do is we'll wrap this up, and I'll create a new stream so that the after show is in a separate one, a separate video. Sound good? And people, you can pop over. So if there's any flat earthers in there, and maybe you want to join and tell us all how stupid we are, Yahwa's daughter. If you are religious, have you read scriptures where it talks the earth being fixed and immovable, built on foundations? It's in the scripture. You should be aware. I am aware. Let me change my thing here. I am aware of that, and like just pretty much everybody else, including all the theologians, everybody for the last thousands of years, we take it as allegory and as poetry and as not a science book. That's why I'm not. I don't. I don't really care about it because it's figurative. So, thoughts by Jay Brown. What is the name of the specific stereographic projection? I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, so I have the link here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'll finish up this stream, and then we will. I'll start a new one, and AT2 can send out to anybody that wants to. So it'll take me just a minute to get the new one set up, and then pop in. And any flat earthers, you're welcome to come in, and we'll have a nice discussion. So thank you to Jason, even though he kind of got mad at the end and left. But thank you for joining. Good sport, and for keeping it cordial. If you liked it, like and subscribe, click the bell thing, and so I can maybe really get my shill points here. Make sure you do whatever that helps me shill. So thanks a lot. Bye.